From the Lower Colorado River Authority, this is Wavelength.
The creation of this new river authority will help electrify rural Texas.
And so today, we gather here to dedicate this mighty structure, the Cannondale.
But this has been a great organization for 60 years. It's going to be a great organization for a long time to come.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the June 2001 edition of Wavelength. Well, after battling with the owners of the Longhorn Pipeline for 3 years, the LCRA announced that the fight would no longer take place in the courtroom.
It's now time to end the involvement of LCRA in this lawsuit that we have entered into with Longhorn Pipeline.
With that statement, LCRA General Manager Joe Beal ended a strained relationship with the Longhorn partners over the safety of a proposed pipeline that would carry gasoline through the heart of the LCRA water service area. In 1998, the LCRA joined an existing lawsuit that had been filed by concerned landowners in the pipeline's path. The pipeline is old and was not originally designed to carry gasoline. But while some people were more concerned about public safety, such as an explosion, the LCRA was focused on whether the pipeline would be a threat to water quality.
This is Lake Travis.
In issuing his statement, Joe Beal made it clear that the LCRA received what it wanted all along, a contractually binding agreement with the owners of the pipeline that guarantees they will re-engineer the pipeline to protect a leak from contaminating the water supplies of the Highland Lakes and the lower river basin.
We did not look at this pipeline from a public safety standpoint. We didn't look at it from an explosion or a fire threat standpoint. We looked at it from a water quality protection standpoint.
The contract is quite specific and holds Longhorn to some strict guidelines, which include no MTBE or similar substances can be shipped in the pipeline. Longhorn must maintain $15 million in liability insurance. The pipeline must be upgraded in sensitive watersheds. They must develop a rapid response team to deal with potential spills. They must provide alternative water resources if a leak occurs. And they must reduce the flow pressure in the line as it passes through sensitive parts of the watershed.
The LCRA is not done with Longhorn Pipeline. This agreement requires Longhorn to do many things that I have described to you today. Our job will be to make sure that Longhorn lives up to this agreement. And we intend to do that because that is how we will protect the water supplies for Central Texas.
From the LCRA's perspective, this is a win not only for the Colorado River, but for the 750,000 people who rely on it for drinking water. And one of the best parts is that the contract goes into effect immediately, and no matter what happens in the courts down the road with the Longhorn Pipeline, they cannot renege on this contract with the LCRA.
Electric reliability in the state of Texas got a big boost in May when the LCRA Board of Directors voted to team up with American Electric Power to build $500 million in new high-voltage transmission lines in South and West Texas. Over the next 5 years, this public-private venture will construct transmission projects identified by the Electric Reliability Council of Texas as crucial to the future reliability of the statewide power grid.
It's a big deal because the state of Texas needs these transmission facilities so that we can keep from being like California. And it's a niche for LCRA. It's something that we know how to do well. It's something that it's a set of services that we can provide to the state. We're uniquely qualified to provide it to the state. And the bottom line is our customers, as well as the rest of the citizens of the state of Texas, can achieve lower costs for their electricity in the future because of our involvement. We can do this work cheaper than the investor-owned utilities. We don't have to make a profit. We can manage this in such a way that the cost to the citizens of the state are less than they would have otherwise been. So it's a perfect thing for LCRA to be involved in.
American Electric Power, AEP, which serves 11 states and 5 other countries, is one of the largest generators of electricity and one of the leading wholesale energy marketers in the United States. AEP is the parent company of West Texas Utilities and Central Power and Light. These new joint transmission projects will be built throughout this vast AEP service area.
LCRA is already geared up with some staff to get ready for this in transmission, regulatory affairs, communication, community relations. And so I expect that probably over the years we will staff up some more as we take on some more of this work. One of the big changes for LCRA is going to be going out and establishing a presence in West Texas and South Texas where we typically have not done any business. And so that's going to be a huge undertaking for our community relation folks and our communication and public relations folks.
Under this agreement, the LCRA will finance and own the power lines. AEP will build, operate, and maintain the projects.
It takes courage for us to get out of the area that we have traditionally served and serve a greater part of the state. And our board has that courage and the vision to do that. I'm very proud of the action that they took today.
Memorial Day weekend is the traditional start of the summer boating season. Both Lake Buchanan and Lake Travis are completely full, with all public boat ramps open. LCRA rangers are anticipating a record number of visitors to the Highland Lakes this summer. If you plan to drink alcohol while driving your boat, there is a new law on the books that you need to be aware of. Governor Rick Perry chose Lake Austin and Tom Miller Dam as the backdrop to sign House Bill 63 into law.
Thank you, Governor Perry, for signing House Bill 63 on behalf of all the law enforcement agencies that are represented here today. And for those that help enforce the laws every day, we appreciate what you've just done. Thank you very much. Thanks.
This new law means that if you get stopped on suspicion of drunk driving, whether it's in your car on Mopac or whether it's right here on Lake Austin in your boat, and you refuse to submit to the breath test, you're going to lose your driver's license for 6 months. That is twice as long as the license suspension under current law. And you will lose your license immediately. This new law imposes tougher penalties on those who fail a breath test also. Drivers with prior alcohol or drug-related offenses who fail a breath test will lose their license for a full year. Again, twice as long as under the old law.
So enjoy the lakes, be safe, wear your life jackets, and don't drink and drive.
When you think of the environment, what comes to mind? Beautiful clear water, crisp blue skies, deer running free in the forest. A central part of the mission and goal of the LCRA is to protect the environment and precious natural resources in the Colorado River Basin. Several LCRA programs designed to protect water quality and prevent soil erosion have been recognized by the Texas Natural Resource Conservation Commission with a 2001 Texas Environmental Excellence Award.
Texans have a long and rich history of environmental stewardship. When our forefathers settled this land in the 1800s, they accepted the responsibility of protecting this land for future generations. That was true then, and it remains true now. We love our land, and I'm committed to taking steps to ensure that the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land we raise our families on remains clean and safe. That's what the Texas Environmental Excellence Awards are all about. Recognizing innovative projects all across our great state that are making a real difference in protecting the environment for future generations.
Good evening and welcome to the 9th Annual Texas Environmental Excellence Awards.
The awards banquet held at the Austin Convention Center honors individuals, organizations, schools, and businesses that have created successful programs to preserve and protect the Texas environment.
Our second winner in the agriculture category is the Lower Colorado River Authority.
ranchers are holding on to the beauty of their land while helping the environment, all because of key agriculture programs from the Lower Colorado River Authority.
There's a new awareness in the rural area about what's right and wrong and what we need to be doing to take care of our environment.
Ranchers have responded by participating in the Texas Country Cleanup. The LCRA co-sponsors these recycling days for landowners to bring in waste that might lead to pollution.
It gives that rural producer a chance to recycle his used oil filters, properly rinsed pesticide containers, batteries, lead-acid batteries, and sometimes tires. It gives them a chance to do the right thing.
The Creekside Conservation Program is another initiative that has improved the land and helped the environment. The key to the program is controlling brush. Dense stands of cedar trees have driven out native grasses, making erosion a critical problem. By removing some of the cedar, native plants reclaim the land. On the 25,000 acres of land managed through the project, runoff has decreased by nearly 60%, saving tons of soil and adding acres of water to underground aquifers.
We know that once we take the cedar off, we're putting more water in the aquifer and in the rivers and the creeks and the streams.
Water quality is what we all gain from it. We're trying to slow down sedimentation rates on the lands, increasing that land productivity, and decreasing the amount of sediment that gets in the rivers and could actually affect aquatic ecosystems.
Accepting the award for LCRA are John Gosden, Manager of Parks and Conservation Services, and Rusty Ray, Conservation Services Supervisor.
Welcome to the second annual Farm Safety Day Camp at LCRA's Cooper Farm Resource Area. Some 300 fifth grade students from all over Fayette County attended this year's safety event.
Our goal today is just to increase your awareness about safety and everything that you do. Last year, about 23,000 children were injured in farm accidents. And the amazing fact about that is over half of those kids, over 50%, did not even live on a farm. They were just visiting their friends or grandparents or something like that.
You need to always remember that whatever you do, it can happen just like that. And none of you are immune from it. It could happen to anyone at any time. The important story there is that you need to always be conscious of what you are doing.
You fall in, all you have to do is pull a cord. First thing, learn how to float. Second thing, when you're around water, you don't know how to swim, don't know how to float, wear a life jacket. Third, you have to know how to swim.
The back is where it's at.
I didn't hear you.
The back is where it's at.
I've gone to lots of wrecks where people chose not to wear a seatbelt, and guess what happened? They're right there on the road dead. We're concerned about the safety of all these young people. They are our future. And for any police officer to come out here and to get a relationship with these youngsters, for the kids to understand that it's okay to be safe, it's cool to be safe, it's fun to be safe, and we're trying to do all of this while making sure the kids are having fun and learning at the same time.
Guns have trigger blocks and firing pin blocks. They call it safeties, but there's really no such a thing as a safety on a gun. You are the safety.
That little arc you see can generate up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Just because the lights aren't on doesn't mean the electricity isn't there.
Leave it alone! Don't pick it up! Don't touch it!
If it's a gas or if it's a powder that generates a dust, we can inhale it. That's one way they could get into our system.
What is the minimum age that you can be to ride this ATV?
I can't read it.
16 older.
Very good, young man, very good. You can wear gloves, you can wear helmets, but if you don't use them properly, then it's no good at all. And we're trying to teach the kids where to come and get all this information they need and how to go back and use it.
Our kids are on the farm are exposed to all of these hazards, be it this four-wheeler safety, ATV, tractor safety, electricity, and it's such that they can really relate and bring home, and hopefully they can get something out of it and also bring stuff home to their brothers, sisters, and parents.
people have lost their lives not following safety instructions and stuff, and this way it'll decrease the amount of people who die each year.
It means a lot to me to be able to teach the kids about safety, because every year a lot of kids are injured on the farm, and if we can help save even one kid, we'll consider it a major accomplishment that we've done out here at Cooper.
Ever wish you could order up a nice rain shower just when you wanted it? Well, that may not be possible, but you can catch that rainwater, store it, then use it when you need to. Rainwater harvesting systems are becoming more and more popular here in Central Texas, especially in the hill country where many people have to rely on deep wells for their water.
It is the simplest form of rainwater harvesting.
This is the Rainwater Harvesting Workshop and tour held recently in San Marcos. Attendees learned about the current regulations and costs of these systems. They heard from suppliers and homeowners, builders and bankers. Rainwater collection is one more alternative to help in the overall effort to conserve water.
Conservation is certainly a wonderful way to reduce and to be more efficient with your water use, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a hardship on your quality of life.
Our barn is about 3,200 square feet, and this is our collection surface right now. We have 2 tanks here. Each tank is 10,000 gallons.
When Jeff Caldwell built his home in rural Hays County, he was able to find financing that would include this rainwater harvesting system instead of a conventional well.
We've been on it about 3 years now, and I love it. The water's fantastic. In Oak Hill, I was actually having to replace faucets and water heater elements pretty much annually. We've been here going on actually 4 years and haven't had to touch a faucet, haven't had to replace a water heater yet, so I really like it. The water tastes good. It doesn't smell bad. I like having some control over my water supply. We're able to determine what goes into it as far as chemicals. We actually don't use any. We use an ozone generator for treatment and a UV light for the drinking water. It pumps the water through the tanks or circulates the water for 6 hours.
Once the rainwater has been stored in the holding tanks, the system operates very much like a backyard swimming pool with a circulation pump and filter. A smaller pressurized tank then feeds water to the house, just as a well system would.
The biggest thing is that a lot of people don't think we get enough rainfall in Texas, and although our rainfall is sometimes very sporadic, as long as you size your system appropriately, have enough collection surface, have enough storage capacity, you can get by on rainwater completely. And as I said earlier, we're 100% dependent on rainwater. We don't have a well, and we have a family of 4, have 2 kids, so we wash clothes. We don't skimp on water. We don't reuse the bath water or anything like that. We're able to make it off of the rainwater that we do collect without having to be overly conservative. We conserve water, but we certainly don't skimp on it. The machine right here is an ozone generator.
Hays County is the first county in the country to offer tax incentives for rainwater harvesting, and the City of Austin provides rebates of up to $500 for newly installed systems. For more information about rainwater harvesting and other great water conservation ideas, visit us on the web at www.lcra.org.
Investigators say gallons of raw sewage has been dumped into the same lake that's linked to our drinking supply, and the Lower Colorado River Authority suspects it was no accident. KVUE News has learned the LCRA carried out a search warrant at the Cypress Creek Marina on Lake Travis. KVUE's Jay Carter has tonight's All New at 10 report live from the lake. Jay, what did this search actually turn up?
Well, tonight, as of tonight, the LCRA will not tell us what they were able to find. At this point, they're just telling us that they're still investigating. There are witnesses, though, according to the search warrant, who complained of a foul odor and floating scum. Living on Lake Travis isn't a luxury when the smell of human waste fills the air. Christy Stewart has noticed.
On a real windy day, sometimes it just kind of wafts by, and other times it's just real powerful.
Now the LCRA says it wasn't her imagination. The agency is investigating the Cypress Creek Marina. 3 witnesses complained they smelled and saw raw sewage, even toilet paper, floating from the marina's direction.
Well, it's scary. I mean, to think you're swimming with your kids and your family with fecal bacteria, and everything else and toilet paper, it's just kind of scary.
The manager of the Cypress Creek Marina wouldn't talk to us on camera, but he told us off camera that the LCRA has cleared him of any wrongdoing, and that all of the allegations in the first place came from a former employee with an axe to grind. But 2 other witnesses made the same complaints about the marina's waste, including an LCRA employee and the manager of another marina nearby. It's enough to convince Christy Stewart to stay out of her part of Lake Travis until LCRA's investigation is finished.
I'm not going to be as quick to put my kids in the water, so I don't know about this summer. We may not swim that much.
And the LCRA, the state, and the county all involved in this investigation. Again, the president of the marina, Glenn Williams, told us that at no time did the marina ever dump sewage into Lake Travis. He says this is just a case of a former employee, a disgruntled employee, who is making false allegations. We're live at Lake Travis tonight. Jay Carter, KVUE News.
So, Jay, how do investigators plan to get to the bottom of all this?
Well, they say that they are still looking around. According to their search warrant, they have searched this property already. They've inspected the septic system. There have actually been underwater divers here, from what we've been told. They've also seized records and equipment. But again, as of tonight, no word on what those investigators found.
Welcome to LCRA's first annual Cinco de Mayo celebration.
Good morning.
Cinco de Mayo marks the day that a small Mexican army under General Ignacio Zaragoza defeated the larger French army at the Battle of Puebla outside Mexico City on May 5th, 1862. Today, Cinco de Mayo has become popular in many U.S. cities and celebrates not only history, but Mexican culture, food, music, and customs.
People are excited to see the kids and see them dance and hear the speeches and understand what a big day this really is. And it's kind of an awakening at LCRA that there are a lot of different cultures and a lot of different things we have to celebrate. So it's a great opportunity for us to kind of wake up and understand that there's a whole lot more going on here.
What's most impressive is that we have been working, it seems, for a short time in trying to diversify and just appreciate the cultures that we all bring. And given that Joe Beal and the executive team have made a commitment to this event and to all other events, it's just amazing to me. It's very fulfilling to know that I'm part of an organization that values everyone.
The turnout of LCRA employees was great and people had a lot of fun, but they also learned about the history and meaning of the day.
I feel very honored to be involved in an event like this, being that the turnout was wonderful, the support was fantastic. Bill Freeman, Heather Bailey, Joe Beal, all the planning committee, the support that we got from LCRA for this event is just, wonderful. It's fantastic, and it demonstrates the growth of how we're going towards sharing cultures and learning from them and moving forward, and really grasps the vision of the OneCo idea.
This event marks one more step in LCRA's journey to become a more inclusive and diverse organization.
I would say the biggest challenge is one of awareness, to understand that valuing diversity is not an exclusive process, but it's an inclusive process, that it benefits everyone. And that's what I see here, the spirit of LCRA, that people are definitely willing. So that's great.
From all indications, the Cinco de Mayo celebration will become a permanent part of the LCRA culture. Well, that's it for this edition of Wavelength. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time.